This week on the podcast, it's all about the Disney news. Carrie and I are talking through some of the big stories that have happened recently with Disneyland reopening, new rules, new keys. Oh, and a pop-up shop at Disney Springs. That's so exciting. And then we're talking about Disney Plus. Carrie is always a binge watcher, and she's looking for some new shows to binge watch in the future. I will watch them weekly, and I've got 2 new shows that I am highly recommending. Stay tuned to find out what they are. Hi, I'm Francine, and you're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast, a podcast where our first topic of conversation will always be Disney. I've been a Disney fan for as long as I can remember, and I'm determined to bring more of that Disney magic into my everyday life. So if you need a little extra pixie dust in your day, you've come to the right place. Thanks so much for listening, and let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Well, hello, Carrie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's all good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I have to apologize originally before we even start anything. Last week there was a little kerfuffle with the podcast. I don't know if anybody noticed, other than our good friend Cheryl, who messaged me at, I guess it was like 7 a.m. and said, "Doesn't your podcast go live at midnight?" Yeah. So in my infinite wisdom, I was trying to multitask with a whole bunch of stuff. And when I was putting the podcast on all the players, I hit the submit button twice. So it looked like there was a duplicate. So I deleted one. But I deleted the one that didn't have the audio. Or deleted the one that had the audio was the thing. So the one that was posted, quote unquote, posted to the podcast players, actually had no podcast attached to it.
So the podcast players are just like, they just go along their merry little way and
like, what? So, so thank you so much, Cheryl, for letting us know. And I managed to get it. It's funny how quick it goes up though, once I got it corrected and submitted, but yeah. So that was fun. So sorry about that. If anybody, because she was up early, she said she was she had something planned and she wanted to listen to the podcast early that morning, and it wasn't there. Oops. So yeah. So that's it.
Happens.
It happens. It happens. We had some other good feedback this week. I got a message on Instagram from one of our listeners, Charlene. And, but it's funny because you and I always have these debates about us talking versus having guests on and all that fun stuff. And Charlene actually said, she wanted to share her opinion that her favorite podcast episodes are when it's just you and I.
Talking about nothing or talking about specifics or just anything. It's just the two.
Well, she says that they're usually about things that she finds very interesting. And, she loves hearing us just talk about stuff. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? She said she loved this week's topic, which was the What's in My Park bag. Because she's always curious about that. And then she said, your podcast makes me happy. So, right?
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Thanks, Charlene.
Yeah, thank you. It was, that was fun to get.
That's cool.
And so
now we know. Now we have some official feedback.
We have official feedback that people like listening to us talk about nothing. Right.
Yes.
So this week we wanted to actually just have the two of us. We have a guest lined up for next week, which is pretty fantastic. But this week we were going to go over some of the Disney news that was going on and a couple of new things on Disney Plus. So where did we start with the news this week, Carrie?
I don't know. Disneyland was pretty interesting news. Everyone trying to get their tickets.
It was. So were you following? Because I was following a little bit, but it was giving me a bit of anxiety watching some of them trying to get their tickets for opening day.
I mostly just saw people posting on Instagram stories their screenshots and reporting back of them waiting on time. And I think people were in the queue for all day long. But yeah. I think in the end that like, I think people were getting their tickets. It was just a long day.
Like it took.
And then once they got their
time.
tickets, then they could do their park reservation. And I believe, that's a little different. What was available, after the end of the day versus the start of the day. But people were getting their tickets, right? And then being able to book their park pass reservations, or whatever they're calling them.
Right. So this is Disneyland so right now. Downtown Disney is open, so that's like the shopping district at Disneyland.
Yep.
And then on the 29th of April, the Grand Californian is opening, my favorite resort there. Mm-hmm. And on April 30th, Disneyland Park and Disneyland California Adventure Park are both going to open.
Right.
And that's what they were trying to get reservations for, was to get into the parks on the 30th. So you have to have a park reservation. Yeah.
And there was no, the ticket sales were on hold. So I think if you had previously purchased tickets, you were okay. But if you were an annual pass holder and you didn't have tickets just hanging around, then you had to buy new tickets. So that was the wait time. People. And I would think.
And it was online, right?
Yeah.
Like it was all online. It wasn't a phone call they were sitting on. It was their browser was open.
Yeah, it was like the queues that we've seen lately with a lot of the Disney registrations. They put you in the queue and they tell you you're going to be, I think the funny thing is I think the queue said more than an hour, which is funny because like it really should have said like 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever. So I think the queues work. They seem to work. It's just that they're so busy they take a long time. So yeah, I think the queue said like your wait time will be longer than an hour, and then people were waiting all day. But I would expect a lot of people would need tickets. People that lived nearby would probably have annual passes. Like maybe people that are a couple of hours away or that didn't visit very often, they might have had pre-purchased some tickets, or maybe they pre-purchased tickets in advance of last spring, knowing that they were going soon. Right? Like, I don't know that you would, because the tickets were dated. The new Disneyland ticket purchases were dated or whatever, right? So, anyways, I would expect a lot of people needed to get tickets. Well, so they just watched I think it was like Big Thunder Mountain or something icon picture, and then your wait will be more than 1 hour.
Like more, so more than an hour, but that could be any amount of time. I don't know. I would be panicking about my internet.
Yeah.
Like, what if you get in queue and all of a sudden your internet goes down?
Well, I can tell you, like with the expo, when we had to get into the queue, for the D23 Expo, when we had to get into the queue to pick the sessions, like Jamie had like multiple devices. I had like my phone and my laptop going in, and I lost connection to my house internet, and I was fine. Like it keeps your, like when I got back on, it was there. Like in that case, it did. And I think carried through and did my reservations with the one that had went down and back up. Because I remember I had my phone at the window just in case, and I had and it was actually my computer internet, like our house Wi-Fi,
like your wired internet in your home
it went down. Our Wi-Fi went down.
Oh my gosh!
And it was so okay. I don't know if this is that. I think that's a different. Might have been a different queuing system, but it's the same sort of thing, right? You see, like in that case, we watched this little dude march across the screen for a couple of hours, and this one was a little bit different. But I think across the board, they're using these queues, which they do work. Yeah. They just have long. They're like long. The queue for. The pin event, like it gives you a number, like it says like your number like 762 or whatever. So I think the different online queues they use are very.
Well, it's nice when they set your expectation like that, but I wonder why it's so long. So if you're going on to purchase something, like there's billions of people every day buying stuff on Amazon at the same time. Why do Disney just have people on the other end of this entering stuff in, and you got to wait for the person that's going to key it in? I don't know.
Well, I know in the case of the pin event, and with the expo, we had I'm not usually a multiple device type of person. I'm just like, it is what it is, except for certain situations. But people would be for the pin event, they would be on multiple devices and see where their numbers are and whatever. Then they get through, they register, and then they would turn off all of their other devices once they knew they were registered. So like every person, I usually just do one, but everybody that's doing the pin event might have 4 going at once.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, once that first bank of people register, then the numbers kind of change a little bit quicker if people shut down their other queues or whatever. But
it's crazy to think about getting tickets like this, but I was so relieved to see so many people that we follow that it looked like I didn't see anybody posting that they didn't get tickets.
No, I don't think so either. And a lot of people to get into Disneyland on those first couple days is very important to many, many people, right? So I think like you said, the stress and the worry and the anxiety oh my goodness, of getting it is big time, right? Like this means a lot to a lot of people. So,
and the park reservations it's a new beast because, we were thinking about it this week. My sister actually said to me, what are we doing about our trip in October? We don't have park reservations yet, but we don't have tickets yet either. But I don't want to buy tickets because I want to buy an annual pass. So, yeah, I got to figure out what that looks like. Like, I don't want to just buy 4 or 5 days worth of tickets I think we've got reservations for a week. But, I'm hoping to get there 4 or 5 times before October. So I'd rather just buy an annual pass. Anyway, so that's a whole other beast. These whole park passes and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But exciting. It's so exciting. I can't wait to see people actually getting into the parks.
Oh, me too.
I think there's going to be tears on tears for especially so many of them.
Tears for the people watching, the people that are experiencing it are going to be like babbling babies.
Oh yeah. I was talking to one of my friends last week who said, when she finally gets there, that she's just going to be a mess. She's just going to be a mess, and she's come to accept that. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be like. When I finally get to Walt Disney World and I walk into the Magic Kingdom and I see that castle again, am I going to burst into tears?
I think you will.
I'll put
my money on that. I'll take that bet.
It's kind of like when I walked into Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. I think it's a very emotional time. It could be. Or I might be so excited to be there that I'm just going to skip down Main Street and do a little dance in front of the castle. Like it could be. Or it could be a mixture of both. I could dance and cry.
Well, usually you don't eat, like when you're coming home and you feel happy about being home, usually it's joy. I don't know.
Yeah.
You might not cry. You might be just so happy.
I could be so happy.
I think that for me, it's more like once I get there, I don't think I'm going to leave. Like, I don't think I'm going to cry. I don't think I'm going to be emotional going to Walt Disney World. But I think once I get there, I might be like, yep.
Not moving. Not leaving.
Go look for some
rental
see if I can apply for a rental property down here or something.
We'll get to California. We'll get there, and then Carrie's like, "Yeah, I don't need the return ticket. I'm not coming.
I'm going to stick around here.
Not coming home."
Yeah.
I know. We'll never take it for granted again, ever.
Absolutely.
Being able to get to the parks. I'm really excited to see people in Disneyland. I think it's going to be fantastic, and I'm excited about what they've done on the website. So I noticed they actually have an update on the website that says, hang on, let me see if I can find it. On the website, it says Disney reserves the right to require a guest to leave if they are, 1, not properly wearing an approved face covering. Fair, right? Everybody's got to wear their face coverings. Know before you go, just do it. And 2, using profanity or any offensive language towards our cast members or other guests.
You're out of here.
Exactly. So sad that they have to actually put that on the website. But they say, given this unprecedented situation, we'd appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we navigate through this process as responsibly as we can. Additional measures and procedures may be announced closer to the opening date. I'm so happy they put that on there because we've all seen the videos of people that have shown up and said they didn't know or said they, whatever, for whatever reason, they're just not nice. And I'm glad they put this. So they're just going to kick you out. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's good for the cast members to see that they're saying we won't tolerate this with people, using profanity or offensive language towards the cast members.
All those Disneylanders are going to be so excited. They're going to be running to Haunted Mansion and to Pirates, and they're going to be double fisting churros to Snow White's Scary Adventure to see how it's changed, and I'm sure it'll be.
Are you excited about the changes to Snow White?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it looks like. I've watched a few videos of them, the updates they've done. But.
So basically, in the nutshell, they're trying to make it less scary. But really, it's cardboard cutouts. How scary is it? I remember as a 3, 4, 5-year-old, maybe it would be scary, the cardboard cutouts, and I remember being afraid of I guess maybe afraid of some of those rides when I was a little kid because it was dark. I think it was more so because it's dark,
and the story is dark because when. It's not happily ever after till you're unboarding the vehicle, and then there's the mural of Prince Charming and Snow White, right?
There's so a little tiny bit of happy.
It's doom and gloom, and then it's the birds are singing and you're getting off the ride. So it's definitely
you're right. It
definitely the ride is the dark part of the story. So.
It's 98% dark part of the story, and then 2% at the end of ta-da! It's a happy ending.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, they've been I was watching just maybe yesterday, maybe on the Parks blog, someone or maybe one of the YouTube videos, the man was painting the outside and showing how he was painting all the flowers and whatever. It looks really bright.
It does. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's some other little things they've done around the parks. I just don't know right now. I can't remember. Well, Avengers Campus is opening.
Yes.
Soon, so it'll be so exciting for everybody there to that they're getting in, and then they're gonna have something brand new and amazing.
Yes, I can't wait till we can get.
It's sad, we would have probably went to Avengers Campus last year if it would have opened on time.
We would have. And we're not even I don't even know who the Avengers are, but I would have gone to see it. That would have been exciting. So we'll get there. We'll get there soon. I think the challenge now is how much YouTube and videos I want to watch versus spoilers. We've talked about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Neither one of us have watched the videos. I still haven't watched it.
I close my eyes. I fast forward through it.
Exactly. So have I, because I want to experience it myself. However, it has been so long since we've been in the parks that there's this part of me that's I just want to consume everything I can.
Yeah. I probably still wouldn't watch something brand new. I would watch a ride through of the Snow White ride to see what they've done, or if they were doing updates of things. But because really, a lot of times, especially if there's changes in the parks, you can watch it on video, but really until you really get it when you see it with your own eyes, if something's been repainted or refurbished or whatever. Yes. So I'm okay to look at stuff like that, but I definitely don't want to do any ride throughs of things I haven't been on. Avengers, the Avengers Campus stuff.
You're not going to watch any rides?
No, I wouldn't watch any of it. No,
I might, because I'm not that invested in the Avengers stuff. But the Mickey and Minnie, I still haven't watched, for sure. I am excited to see that castle at Walt Disney World in person, with the new turrets and the new, all the new gold and the colors, and oh my goodness, it's so exciting.
I think what they've done with the turrets definitely tones down the blue. It kind of brings it all together.
It does.
And I guess, maybe this was the plan all along. When they did the brighter blue, I'm sure they had it all figured out what the castle was going to look like this October.
Exactly.
Because everybody was not loving it necessarily, but I think once you see it the way that it's meant to be, she's
all ready for her 50th birthday. I can't, it's so exciting. It's going to be quite a celebration. The other thing that Disney, there was updates as well, is to their 4 keys. So one of the things that cast members learn when they join the Disney parks is that, really any Disney cast member learns about the 4 keys. And the 4 keys are the blueprint for, this is the way Disney describes it, the blueprint for the decisions they make during the workday and the approach they bring to their interactions with others. So it's kind of how they prioritize what they're doing. So if you have to make a decision, you have to serve a guest, whatever you're doing, the keys that you must adhere to are first safety. So safety comes before everything else. Then courtesy, show, and efficiency. Disney has included a fifth key. Now, this is the first time in 65 years that they've had a new key. And the new key is inclusion. So they have a fifth key, and they announced this, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. And the cast members around the world know these keys by heart and live by them in their rules every day. So now inclusion is one of their keys, which is so fantastic. It means that they're being focused and thoughtful about inclusion. And that's sort of the backbone of some of the changes that they're doing in the parks. So the reimagining of, my goodness, Splash Mountain and the Jungle Cruise. Mm-hmm. So some of the updates to the Jungle Cruise have already started taking shape. And they're updating some of the scenes that are not culturally sensitive. And, it's funny. It's kind of like the woman in the Pirates of the Caribbean, the redhead. Mm-hmm. There's a nostalgia part of me that as a kid, it's kind of like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I love it. I have such a deep connection to it from my childhood. But I'm not necessarily bothered by changes. I think changes are good. And they're new stories. And they're exciting.
Yep.
Like Trader Sam, who is at the end of the Jungle Cruise, apparently they've removed him. I don't know if they're going to add him back, if there's going to be a different variation, like how that story's all going to play out. But he was such a big part of the end of the Jungle Cruise that I will miss that part. It's like the standard joke that they always had about, he'll give you two heads for one of yours. It's one of those things that is so woven into the story that it's going to be weird. It's not there. But there's going to be something new that gets woven into the story for the generations to come that they're going to get attached to.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about it.
And the long video that they put out for introducing the
inclusion key. Oh my goodness.
Like you told me to watch it and that it got you, but like at the beginning when it starts and Walt says welcome to this happy place, like whatever, like you've seen that picture, you've heard his voice, like that's how they introduced
You've heard
Disney.
that speech. Yeah.
That's how they open a lot of the history of Disneyland with those images. It was at the end when the cast members were saying it, and I was like, oh my goodness, where's the box of Kleenex? This is wonderful.
I will link to this YouTube video that Disney put out about it's just, yeah. At the beginning when he says, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. Yeah. But the whole video focuses on all. Yeah. And it's so, I told you.
It all gets wrapped up at the end. It's just, it's awesome.
I told you. It'll make you cry. And you were like, yeah, I'll watch it.
I was like, and then when it started, I'm like, yeah, Walt, Uncle Walt, we love you. I've heard you say that. I love Disneyland. That's the castle. Yeah, 1955. And then I was watching it, and then it was all coming together, and I was like,
and then you started to get a little misty.
To all that come to this happy place.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm really excited about that and see how all of those rides kind of shape out and how they change, and I think it's awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome. And I will link to that video in the show notes because
I will, because there's a smaller one a little clippy one that was on Facebook, and I went after you said that how great it was, and I watched it. I'm like, I don't think that's it. So then I went to the YouTube channel, I think, or I dug deeper to find the full video. And it was
and they had so many cast members, and to that with the inclusion and everything. So I haven't done a lot of research on it. I have to read up on it, but they basically loosened a little bit of the rules on the Disney look. Mm-hmm. So cast members have very strict, and I'm using air quotes that nobody can see, but look, meaning that they have to, like, they couldn't have visible tattoos. They had to, have certain, like, you couldn't have their hair couldn't be purple, pink, and orange. Like, it had to be tidy. There were certain things, even face facial hair for men and things like that. So they have relaxed their rules a little. Not, their rules were so rigid that, quite honestly, the changes they've made seem groundbreaking for everybody, but they're really just, they've loosened it a little bit. So you can have a tasteful tattoo visible and things like that. So more to come on that. There's lots of updates to the cast member costumes and things that they're going to be wearing. And I think it's, Disney's one of those companies that they walk the walk. They say it and then they do it. And I think it's fantastic. On a different note, there's a pop-up shop at Disney Springs. Oh. We couldn't get through. We had to talk about shopping, right?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So there's a Disney Cruise Line pop-up shop in the Co-op Marketplace.
I love that store. Springs. It's where they used to have the men's clothing, like that little box there in that store. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a thing. Often, there's not huge changes, but they definitely change components here or there or shift them around a little bit.
Do you want to explain,
there's usually
like, the
a pet
layout
store.
Kind of?
Yeah, like when you used to go in, there'd be the men's store, the men's clothes, and then in the back would be the purses and the dresses. There'd be a little pet store, like all the pet stuff was in there. The D-Tech used to be in there. I don't know that if it's in there anymore. It might still be. And then they have like the Disney art in there too. So they have like little quadrants or sections of the store, and sometimes in the middle they would have. Remember, they have
they have the candle. That's
candles and scents
oils
and things at certain times. So there's a lady. There's a company that makes cards like paper. There was paper cards once. Remember the really intricate pop-up cards? They were in there. So they changed. Oh, there's a home store. There's one of those quads is a. Because it's like 4 big spots, and then there's the big long section in the back, I think.
Yes.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the long, like
there's like a big long star.
Yeah, the long section is the dress and the purse shop. So they switched that stuff around. So they've made one of them a Disney Cruise pop-up shop, which is cool because you can buy cruise merchandise and it looks like some of it's new, right? Maybe they've had lots of merchandise come in and they haven't been able to get rid of it because, they just sent it to Disney Springs. So
so they've got everything in there. They've got luggage, they've got clothing, sweaters, shirts, whole collections. They've got some Loungefly, the Disney Cruise Line Loungefly, hats, luggage tags, mugs.
And people love cruising, right? Like if you whatever, regardless of what's going on and whether or not we've cruised lately, like people love to cruise. So how exciting is it for people that have to be able to have some access to this and spend some money on something new?
They have merchandise right from Castaway Cay too.
Oh, that's cool. I never noticed that.
Yeah, so they have a full collection from Castaway Cay.
Well, that's breaking some rules because usually you can't get that
unless you're on the island. So Castaway Cay is Disney's private island in the Bahamas where their ships go on the Caribbean and Bahamas itineraries. Mm-hmm. And there is a couple, I think there's 2 stores on the island. They're not very big. So. Like they're just kind of like 2 little huts. But really, you can only get Castaway Cay merchandise up until now on the island. So if you wanted something branded with Castaway Cay, you had to buy it there.
Yep. And if you forgot to buy it, you'd have to wait till next time.
Next cruise. So they have some of that there. I guess it makes sense. Yeah. They must have had all this merchandise, and they're probably looking to update the merchandise, new colors, new things, whatever. But it didn't sell because nobody was cruising, and nobody's been to Castaway Cay in how long?
And you wonder, like, in the future, why wouldn't they have a little tiny sliver of a section in the World of Disney store for the people that get off the cruise and they're like, oh, I forgot. I should have bought that beach towel. Like, just a little tiny sliver of a section. Like, I'm not talking like an elbow or even a right arm. Like, just a little tiny pinky finger sliver of a section.
Just a little bit.
Or you could maybe pick up something like a mug or, just a little highlight area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they've opened that pop-up shop with all this fantastic merchandise. But across the way from the pop-up shop, they've also included some Disney merch at the Dockside Margaritas.
Where
It's a little hut almost, or whatever. It's dockside next to the water, and it's a margarita stand. And you can go across there now and get a strawberry daiquiri or a pina colada in the traditional Disney Cruise Line embarkation glass.
So you can get the drink of the day.
Pretty much. on a Disney cruise, they always have a drink of the day, and they have some really good, it's fun. Whatever the drink of the day is. And
the cup is different, but the cup is different though. Sorry, the drink cup is different than what usually so it's a new cup on top of it, is it not?
It's a new cup. It's a flat cup. So the bottom of it is flat instead of like the traditional
margarita
looking glasses with the little stem and all that stuff. This is like a flat cup and it's royal blue with the Disney Cruise Line emblem. It's beautiful.
It does look nice. We probably would need to get one if we were there.
Well, so apparently it's there while supplies last, and the pop-up shop is, I think, there until September. So it's supposed now through early September. So maybe it's until supplies last as well. But when we get there, Carrie, I would like one of these. I want one of these mugs.
So smart. It's a fun thing. It's like you just go with the flow, roll with the punches. Like I know it's a money, like, oh, they've got all these things they've got to sell them too, but like it's like, you can kind of just look past that and be like, how fun is that you can go and get the drink of the day at Disney Springs if you like,
which is so fantastic.
Like I get it's, they need to sell mugs and they're going to sell margaritas, but from a fan that's, the glass is always full and everything's,
Yeah. Aren't you excited? Like, I'm so excited they're giving people access to this merchandise even while we're not traveling. I think it's fantastic. I'm so excited. I want one.
It's very cool.
And there's a couple shirts I saw in there that I wanted to. So anyway, so that was good. So some good fun Disney news going on this week. Was there anything else that was big that you saw? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think that was it.
I don't remember.
Aside from all the foodie news that was coming for Disneyland, and which is just, that part is very difficult for me because I want to eat all the food. Yeah. Like all of it. It all looks so good.
Yeah, it looks like there's a wide complement of available food options when Disneyland opens. Like it looks like almost everything is open, which is good. Well, really, people are going to want to go in and just be in their happy place and have a snack or eat their favorite thing.
Oh my goodness. It's
like
going to be...
Can you imagine what the corn dog line's going to be like?
Oh.
And then social distance on top of it, it'll probably go all the way back to Galaxy's Edge.
It probably will. And all these things, like most of these places are open. I would give anything right now to go to that Bengal barbecue.
I know, so good.
Disney. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well, everything will be, I guess, it's mobile ordering. Like everything's mobile ordering. So I guess it's kind of fun to say the line would be to Galaxy's Edge, but I guess it won't be. But you can dream that's if there wasn't mobile ordering.
I would
the line would wrap around wrap around the teacups.
So we'll have to
around
share our thoughts.
Past the Matterhorn.
We'll have to share our thoughts after
under
we see
the bridge
everybody
to Toontown.
Oh, Toontown! I would love to be there right now. So that was kind of all the park news that we had. We
remember.
We did want to talk about Disney Plus because you and I were talking about new shows on Disney Plus, and I am absolutely amazed that there are 2 new shows on Disney Plus that you are not watching.
No, I haven't watched Disney Plus recently. I've got lots of watching to do.
You do. So I had an issue with my Disney Plus a couple weeks ago. Sometimes I think when my TV does updates, something happens. I don't know. Anyway, I had to reboot it all, and then I finally got back in. So I got caught up. My first new favorite show is The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I can't believe you're not watching it, Carrie.
No.
Why? Why?
I just haven't had a chance to.
You got to prioritize. We got to talk about your priorities here.
Well, one thing when you don't log in for a while and then you do, you see, there's all kinds of new stuff I need to catch up on.
Yeah.
I am a binge watcher, remember? I'm
I know,
not going to go
that's
on
true.
Disney Plus every single day and watch something. I'm a binge watcher. I want to say, okay, tonight's a night where I don't move and I'm going to watch TV all night long or whatever. So I don't watch it every single day unless it's
And that's the hard part.
Muppets or something.
Unless it's
Unless when the Muppets came out, I binge watched a little bit more than I usually would watch. But other than that, I don't binge watch.
You don't watch the shows where it's like a half-hour episode weekly.
I'm
because
a
that
YouTube
bugs
junkie.
you.
That's my problem.
I know, because you send me these YouTube videos to watch, and I did watch the ones you sent me this week. And
I even queue them up to where I think you should start watching them, because then I think I have a better shot that you're actually going to watch it.
You know what I find? I think it's hysterical. So before we get to the Disney Plus, but you send me a YouTube video because you were telling me about this guy, this TDR Explorer dude, and you're like, let me send you one of his videos to watch. The guy's got 100 videos about park tours and all sorts of stuff. What's the video you send me to watch? Him tasting all the food.
Exactly. Was that not the best video to hook, line, and sinker?
The best video to hook me on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and it was.
I was gonna send you a merch one, and I'm like, no, I'm looking for a good food one, and then you'll be like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. This is fun. How can you not fall in love with Tokyo Disneyland food?
So the food, Tokyo Disneyland food is insane.
It's interesting and different, and they have all these souvenir. Every time you buy something during a celebration, they have a souvenir mug or a plate or a whatever jewelry tray, and everything comes in beautiful wrapping. You get a hot dog and you don't even want to throw away the paper that the hot dog was wrapped up in. So I strategically picked that one. I scrolled and I thought, what's a good one? Because I think you'll like watching his videos, and I wanted to send you one that you'd be like,
catch me right out of the guard. Yeah.
So there you go. It was a treat one.
Yeah. So that's the way to my heart. is the food video. So it worked. So yes, I did watch the YouTubes that you sent me this week. So thank you. Yep.
So back to Disney Plus.
You
love the Mighty Ducks.
Oh my gosh, Carrie. So I have to tell I love Emilio Estevez. I think he's awesome. I love the original Mighty Ducks movies. But this new cast and how they have brought the Mighty Ducks into 2021 is just phenomenal. They have the kids that love to play hockey, but they're the quote unquote misfits of 2021 are very different than the misfits from how many years ago when the Mighty Ducks first came out. So there's a kid who's like a master gamer, but he's all about his screen. And then there's another kid who's really socially awkward, but he is, Carrie, this kid, when you watch it, you're going to know. I want to hear from people listening, if they're watching it, who their favorite kid is. Because there's this one kid on the show, and he has me belly laughing. Belly laughing, because he's awkward, but he's adorable. And I just love him to bits. So if you're not watching Game Changers, you absolutely have to. Because it's so cute, and it's so funny, and it's such a feel-good show. It really is.
And then you were watching the one with John Stamos. That's the other one you told me I needed to watch.
Oh my goodness. So
Big Shot.
Yeah. So Big Shot, it's
this one might
John
have me because
Stamos.
It's basketball versus hockey, so I might. Well, I know Beloved. I like Mighty Ducks. I get it. I get it. But at least this one is basketball. It's girls basketball, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. It's girls basketball. So he is a coach, and I don't like basketball. Basketball is not my sport. Hockey's my sport. If I'm gonna watch sports, I'm watching hockey. I don't like basketball. However, this is A, John Stamos, and B, a fantastic story. So he's apparently a big time coach, basketball coach in whatever leagues, blah blah blah. Anyway, he gets turfed from the big time because he's too angry and he throws chairs and all sorts of stuff. And now he has to go and teach and coach girls basketball in a high school. So he was teaching boys college or men's college basketball, and now he has to teach girls. And it's fantastic. And it's emotional and it's fun. But he's not necessarily a nice person out of the gate, which is weird because it's John Stamos, and he's just fabulous. So I watched the first one of that, and it's fantastic. So if you haven't,
and
watched
that one's just brand new though, right? Because I did see it pop up somewhere.
brand spanking new. And yeah, I don't like basketball, but I love it already. I love it. Yeah. So Carrie, this is right up your alley.
I'll give it a try, but I might wait a little bit to for a couple episodes.
There's a few episodes to binge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I do go on Disney Plus, like there is, when it's every once in a while, because I'm not on there all the time, like I get so excited to see what's new, and then I add them to my little watch list.
Do you use those watch list things on the streaming things?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, you must, because you do it to me when there's stuff you want me to watch on Netflix or whatever. You put it in my watch list.
I'm sure we probably have mentioned that before.
I think we
have. In your Netflix watch list, like I searched every single thing that had the word cat in the movie title, and I added it to your watch list. Every cat documentary, every you did about cats, I put it in there just so that when you went to go look,
it
was. It all started with the Tiger King. That's when I did it. Way back then.
Yeah.
So
it's been a year since Tiger King. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've covered all the news and all of the Disney Plus. But I wanted to also say that we got another piece of feedback from last week that we didn't share.
We did.
So that was we did. Remember, I sent you the voice clip. So from our friend Amy at Pure Magic Vacations, who was out for a walk listening to us, and she sent a voice clip and said that she was laughing out loud at our descriptions of the clearance needed to see some of the refurbished rooms at the Contemporary. But she said she was enjoying it, laughing along with us. So we're glad that...
Now we go on a walk. We go on walks with her.
You know, I feel like we should be much skinnier because we do all of these activities with everyone. Can you imagine if it worked that way? That we got credit for the walks and the cleaning and all the stuff that people do while they're listening to us?
We should probably talk about, wasn't it this week where we were talking about walking more? Yeah. And we planned to go for a walk at lunch, and then when you dialed in, you were walking, and I was sitting at my desk, and I said, I don't want to go for a walk today. And then once we were walking, like 5 minutes in, you fessed up and said you already had walked that day, so you were really just walking for me, and I was sitting at my desk. So horrible.
Oh my God, I wasn't going to tell people about that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll put it out there. That's me right there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fran's been walking in the morning without me because she can't depend on me to walk with her all the time. She's up bright and early, she's walking, and it didn't even clue in, and then we still talked about walking at lunch, and I said, yeah, let's walk tomorrow, and I really didn't feel like walking. Not one bit of my being wanted to walk.
Some days you just can't.
I was sitting, and Fran was walking, and then she was like, actually, this is my second walk. So you did a double walk that day.
I did.
You're
so
welcome,
I felt better.
Fran. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I felt better yesterday because I didn't do one at all. But yeah, because Carrie, because I'm just getting bigger and bigger, like at home. Like it's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. It's completely because I'm stuffing too much stuff in my mouth. So I'm trying to get up in the morning and at least do 20 or 30 minutes walking on the treadmill, which is where I watch these YouTubes you sent me, which is why I'm now caught up on the YouTubes. But so we've tried a couple times at lunch to do some walks, but it's usually my fault we don't, because I end up getting a meeting or something booked at that time. Yeah. But that one day I actually had the lunch free, and I'm like, okay, do you want to chat? We'll walk at lunch. And yeah, so the video opens, I'm on my treadmill, I've got my everything set up on my little shelf, and Carrie's sitting at her desk.
Carrie's in bed curled up in a fetal position. I don't want to walk today. Don't make me walk.
We'll get back on it next week. So
I'm feeling I think for my health, I might need a bigger network of walking friends. Because my 2 walking lunch buddies have very busy schedules, like lots of meetings, so it is a bit of it can be tricky to pencil in times. I think I might need a larger network of walking buddies, because otherwise I don't go anywhere.
We talk all the time because we're talking about the podcast, we're talking about all sorts of Disney stuff. So we agreed that we should just plan to do our talks while we're walking, and then it's kind of like a double benefit. So, yeah. Well, let's put it out there to the universe and everyone listening that we're going to try and do it next week. At least 2 or 3 times next week. Maybe we might have to do it at night. We might have to do it at night. That's the other. Yeah.
Because I walk outside. You do the treadmill.
Well, so that's the other thing. Carrie actually gets fresh air when she walks. So, yeah. Yeah. Let's try that next week then. Maybe
Sounds
at night
good.
when
we
it's still light out.
We
can report. Well, now that we've put it out there, Carrie, we're kind of on top to do it. Okay.
I know that's your whole MO. That's how you do things. You're like, put it out there, then we gotta do it. I'm like, just don't say nothing and nobody knows any better.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Carrie, it's that time of the podcast where you tell us what brought you pixie dust this week.
Well, my pixie dust is something that I bought that I had been wanting to buy forever, and then I just kept not buying it. And then it is a Revlon one-step volumizer hairbrush. So my friend Mandy did a blog on it like probably well over a year ago, and I was intrigued by it. And it's like $70 for this hairdryer brush thingamajiggy, and I was like, I don't know. But this week I thought about it, I've looked at the knockoffs on Amazon, and I just hadn't bought it. But this, like last week or whatever, my big hairbrush that I always use to dry my hair with, because you have to have a hairbrush and a hairdryer, it like snapped in half, and I was like, oh snap, my beloved roller brush is gone. So anyways, I was out shopping and I was looking for like, I don't know, toothpaste or something in the pharmacy area, which I forgot to buy when I was there. And I was like, oh, and then I ended up looking at hairbrushes, and then right beside the hairbrushes was this beautiful volumizer tool. So I said, heck it, that's it. I'm worth the $69.99 plus HST. I'm buying it. So
Girl,
I bought it.
Worth it.
I'm worth it. So I bought it, and it's pretty cool. I really like it. It's a hairdryer and a brush all in one. Just as Mandy said in her review, all those in her blog. It's fantastic. I should have just bought it way back then. But you don't have to. You only have to hold one thing. You don't have to hold a hairbrush and a hairdryer anymore. So I'm gonna give it a few more dries before I decide if I give it 5 stars. But it worked well the first time. Like the back part of my hair was straight, and it worked really well because I'm not the best with doing my hair because I can't hold a hairbrush and hold a dryer at the same time.
So it's pretty. So this is like right up your alley.
Like I'm the type of person like if I could have somebody like wash and blow dry my hair all the time, like that's what I would do if I could. If you were to a salon every couple days for somebody to wash and blow dry my hair so it was nice and straight and perfect, then that would be my priority. If I could choose one
luxury
everyday luxury splurge, that would be mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. So I was telling you all about it. I have it here. I was giving you a tour of how it worked.
Yeah.
Because now that I have it, I'm like, you should get one too.
I know. So that I was pulling it up on Amazon. So I'll link to it in the show notes. Because yes, I think it's already in my Amazon cart.
Yeah. And I said, why didn't I buy it like a year ago? It's just
I know, I may as well.
Because
you're always giving me grief about
out of it.
Taking my hairdryer, because I was one of those people that bought the Dyson one, which I love. I love my Dyson, but it's, to your point, it's a hairdryer and a hair. I have to hold the hairbrush, and really we're complaining about that. But seriously, it's a pain.
It's a skill, like to be able to manage all that stuff while you're getting ready.
Yes.
Like it's not easy to do.
So I'll let you know what I think, because it's in my cart and I'm about to check out as soon as we're done recording. And I think with my Prime membership, it'll be here in a day or two. So I'll let you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm an influencer. I've influenced you.
You have. Oh.
Anyways, that's my pixie dust. So what's your pixie dust? That
was good. My pixie dust came actually this week at work at the Unmagical Job. So we have a tool that we use. I'm sure lots of companies use it, called Microsoft Teams. And it's like a chat. It's like a Facebook chat, whatever. It's a chat tool that we use to chat with everybody in the organization. So one of my coworkers and I were having a chat, and there's memes and GIFs that you can send back and forth in these tools, just like you can on Facebook. But they're obviously more work appropriate memes. I thought. That's what I thought. Anyway, I went in yesterday and I was looking for a specific meme because, this person was ticking me off. and they have Coronation Street memes. So if you don't know, Coronation Street is the British show. It's been on for like 65 years or something crazy like that. I've been watching it since I was a kid. I absolutely love it. And my coworker watches it. It's a British soap opera. And my coworker watches it too. His mom had gotten him into it or whatever when he was a kid, and he just watches it now. But they have Coronation Street memes and GIFs on Microsoft Teams. So we spent the afternoon sending back and forth Coronation Street memes to each other and just howling because they're just funny. So
See, I saw that you posted that, I think, and then I was thinking to myself, like, she has somebody at work that also watches Coronation Street.
Exactly. I do. And it's because I know it's definitely a certain people that watch Coronation Street, but yeah, he's totally into it, and we always joke about it. And yeah, so now I have memes to send him that are Coronation Street memes. So that it totally made me happy.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's always good when you find a good meme to send back and forth to each other, or a good GIF or GIF or whatever they're called. So yeah, that's it. That was my Pixie Dust. That was a good week.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for this week, Carrie.
I think so.
And for everyone listening, find us on Instagram. Make sure you're following us there, because we've always got some good stories. We were going to do more of those lives. Maybe I'll get my hair dryer. We'll both blow out our hair, and then we'll do an Instagram live.
Oh no.
I know. Okay. Well, make sure you're following us everywhere. Send us your feedback. And leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you can. Tell your friends and family. Tell anyone that's, if they're looking for new podcasts to enjoy, that would be great. Cool. Well, thanks again, Carrie. And everybody, remember, until next time, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.